Gonna do California Snow, but I'm gonna do this little thing here. I'm working up this thing called Memories of Old Los Angeles. Kind of takes me back to the Hot Walker days. Everybody remember that record? Thank you, Alec. God bless you. We got the voices of Jack Kerouac and Lenny Bruce on that record, and Charles Bukowski, and all the beat influences I talk about growing up in LA in the 50s and 60s. Of course, the great music of Bakersfield, far superior to anything that ever came out of Nashville, except George Jones. But we come out here tonight to lecture, you bastards. Yeah, you should have recorded the show, my friend. But art is fleeting, art is cruel. Our hotel tonight does not have a swimming pool. Glad you didn't record the show. And I thought I'd put together just those memories of LA without doing the entire record. On another record, I did a little Charles Bukowski poem, my favorite one. Although there's a book out of letters with Bukowski and myself, not like a huge, total big fan. I liked some of the stuff. Of course, you're not going to get many dates if you're reading a lot of Charles Bukowski. Women don't really dig that stuff. It's crude and overly manly in these modern times of political correctness. But we come not here to lecture, proud people. Let me do a little bit of that poem, though. It's a wonderful historic poem on LA. And then I'll go into the time I worked at the Challenge Creamery. Yeah, man. And yeah, butter. Very good. Splendors. Don't give it away, sir. Have you ejected so roughly you'll wish you never came? These lawyers can kick hard, brother. Get him down, kick him! Hey, we'll do a little crucifix, then I'll tell you about the time I worked at the creamery, and then we'll go into memories of the Ash Grove. That'll work, huh? Let's try a little crucifix in a death hand. My favorite poem of Los Angeles. You just gotta go with me, man. I'm with you. All right, thank you. Like the hat, too. Yeah, they begin out in the Willow, I think. The Starch Mountains begin out in the Willow. They keep right on going without regard for pumas or nectarines. Somehow these mountains are like an old woman with a bad memory in a shopping basket. We're in the basin, that's the idea. Down in the sands and the alleyways where I see landlords, freeway subdividers arguing. This is my land and I walk on it a while, living on it a while down near LA. Spaniards all the way back in Spain, etc. I used to work with a guy named Frankie Acosta. Yeah, we were butter strippers at the Challenge Creamery. Stripping the cardboard off 70-pound cubes of butter. Oh Christ, it was so hot back then. Summer of '63. Frankie, man, he gets so angry. He'd say, see what my woman makes me do. Then he'd rip off a dirty splinter from an old wooden pallet, stick it like a knife, one of them big old butter cubes. That's what work is. That's what love is. A little pleasure and a little misery. Now every time I buy a cube of butter, boys, I think of LA back in 1963. Hey, hey, hey. I hear mariachi trumpets on my radio, and the tubes, they glow in the dark. And I'm there with you down in Ensenada, but I'm here in Echo Park. Carmelita, tighter. I think I'm sinking down, and I'm all strung out on heroin on the outskirts of town. Warren Zevon. I used to hang out at the Ash Grove back then in the 1960s. I got to see Ramblin' Jack Elliott, Ian and Sylvia, Dave Van Ronk, Lightnin' Hopkins. How would Lightnin' Hopkins have played that night, 1962 in LA? What would Lightnin' sound like? Something like that. Also got to see the great Doc Watson. He's still out there playing that beautifully fluid, finger-picking music. What would Doc sound like? Yeah, that's right. You can go on all night like that. But Dave Van Ronk, man, on the record, my favorite piece on that record is A Night in Dave Van Ronk's Apartment. I'll paraphrase a little of it here, give you a footnote. He'd invite you up to his apartment on Sheridan Square. 3 flights of stairs to that little rent-controlled 3-room apartment that he shared with his second wife, Andrea. And he used to invite you up for an Indonesian chicken dinner that was so hot. Remind me of the food in Nigeria in 1969, where the little kids would always chase the white people when they saw them in a car and they'd yell something. It took me a year to figure out what they were yelling. It was, "White man eat the pepper," then he yelled, "Oh mama." That's true. That's how it felt in Dave Van Ronk's apartment. The University of Dave Van Ronk's couch. Far better than 12 years of Catholic education. Far safer. But we'd wash that hot dinner down with copious amounts of a very mediocre Italian wine nicknamed Suave. Misnamed. Speaking fluent French, we renamed it Eau de Chité. Crape. You got any good Chardonnay back there? Give me a couple glasses ready, sir, for after the show. Thad likes a Guinness too. Will we retire to the basement and discuss the show? And we drink that Suave wine at Dave Van Ronk's apartment. The first glass was horrible. The year was very bad. But Dave had a secret trick. He had a big glass pitcher that had an ice shaft running down the middle, and he filled the shaft with ice, poured in a gallon of Suave. After about the 3rd jelly glass, it started tasting real good. You know Americans, if it doesn't taste good, put ice in it. That joke goes over real well in Switzerland, in France, and Italy. And apparently it's okay for Cleveland, the home of hot cuisine. Them raviolis was good down there tonight. Filled with lizards and stuff like that. Whatever you can catch out on the streets of Cleveland. And onward we drink the Suave till Dave would retire to the couch and start picking his vintage Gibson guitar and play the old songs back when people were writing them. Then he'd say, "Andrea, please put on number 3 on that track I've just put on the record player." "Shut up, you people! Shut up and listen to this. Shut up and listen to a song."